Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's David Webb.
I'm Arielle Edwards.
We get nerdy nightly.
And we thought we'd share it with you.
Yeah. That is right. It is Monday, November 23rd, 2020, and it's another edition of the Nightly Morning Show.
Yep, it's officially winter.
It is.
Here in Canada.
Snowing.
It snowed all day yesterday. I was supposed to have a photo shoot in the morning. Mm-hmm. And we're like, you know what, we're going to keep an eye on it, on the weather, because, the weather is, it's Canada.
Yeah. Canada.
And I woke up, and we were, messaging, and then the photographer was like, so it's snowing where I am. And I opened my, the curtain, and I was like, oh no, it's snowing. And then it snowed all day.
Yeah.
All day. It's disgusting outside.
It was kind of beautiful. Honestly, It was nice. It was nice snow for the beginning of it.
Yeah.
In the middle of the day, it got a little wet, so
it's very. But. Yeah. But we're in Canada.
We are in Canada. Yeah. I don't have a brush scraper thing. If you don't know what that is, you don't live in the north. For my car, so I had to order one of those off Amazon. But yesterday I was doing it with my hands. Yeah. Which just sucks. It's the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. I here's the thing. I would have done the photo shoot. It's just that the snow was really wet and heavy, and for the cameras and stuff, none of the photographers would have wanted to shoot in the snow. And I was like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
I just look cute for myself.
Yeah. It ended up being a productive day though.
It was great. Yeah. We went out. We got groceries. We stocked up on groceries because starting today, everything's kind of locked down.
In Toronto.
Toronto and Peel region. Anyways.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Here, it's fine. You'll learn. We'll get you there.
For those of you who don't know, I have just moved to Toronto. So I'm just learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
No, that's fair. So we went to Costco. Mm-hmm. We went to the mall, picked up some stuff essentials, and kind of just got ready to hunker down for the next month.
28 days. It also ended up being a fun day, though.
Yes.
Because we did drugs.
We did drugs. Yes, we did.
We had
which are illegal here.
To celebrate hitting 420 followers on the Nerdy Nightly channel, we did a 420 stream, in which at 420 yesterday we started streaming high, playing some Jackbox. The plan was to play Jackbox and then play Among Us. But what happened, Clarus?
We were way too high.
We got way too high.
Yeah. David was like, 10 milligrams is really, not that much. So we both took 10 milligrams each. And if he was very high, I don't even know what to tell you that I was. I couldn't function as a human being.
My favorite part of the whole thing was you responding so late to anything I said. I would be like, hey, I just read this. I was, on my phone, I just read this. And then, no response for, a minute. And then I would have moved on to something else and, not been paying attention. And Clarus would just go, oh, cool.
It was, I was on the struggle bus, guys. It was...
Fully riding the struggle bus.
Yeah, it was not cute.
It was a very fun stream, though.
It was. Yeah. There was 10 minutes there. You know what? Actually, I don't know if it was 10 minutes. It could have been a lot shorter or a lot longer. Where I felt like my chest was gonna explode, and I was like, "We need to end the stream." I was like, "I think I'm dying. I think I'm dying." And then I was like, "Well, I can't say that on stream. I don't want to worry people." So I just sat there and waited, and it went away. But it was, guys. Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad, okay? They're not. It was very fun.
It was fun.
The bigger problem was that I had plans for last night, things we were going to get done. We were going to record our Patreon-only podcast. We were going to do some stuff like that.
Oh, right. Yeah, we literally couldn't.
We went to bed we were lying on the couch for about an hour after the stream ended, and then I turned to Clarus and I went, all right, I'm going to go take a nap. This was at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I woke up at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
It was a 11-hour nap.
Yeah. Yeah. David, went to bed, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. A nap would be great. And so I went and got into bed, and then realized I was still fully clothed, hadn't washed my face or brushed my teeth, had to haul myself back out of bed,
You actually did all that?
I did.
I'm so proud of you. I was out.
Guys, my skin, I am strict about it. I do not go to bed without washing my face. I have never done it in my life, and I never will.
No. No matter how high she gets.
Yeah. It was a struggle. Like, I was like, oh my god. Yeah.
I think my favorite part of it, though, was when I woke up, you were still, like, in that giant hoodie that you bought yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I fell asleep. I definitely, like, took off, like, my pants and my socks to, like, change into pajamas. But then I just left my sweater on and crawled into bed. We
had an evening.
Yeah, it was something.
It was a fun stream, though. I'm really glad we did that.
Me too.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Next time I will take half as much.
I think that my favorite part of the stream was definitely we were playing Quiplash. And the prompt was, what do you call a surfing cow? And Claris's answer was Milky Waves. And I've never been more proud to be married to you in my entire life.
Thank you.
I want a Milky Waves shirt. Thank you, Zeers.
Thank you, Zeers.
For the Empire. Oh my god.
All right, chug. Oh, it's tea. I don't enjoy chugging tea. Jesus, Zeers, why? Why would you do this?
For those of you who are listening to the podcast, we're being forced to drink liquids by our chat.
Zeus is trying to drown us. Yeah, I've never...
Drowning in the Milky Waves.
Jesus. I don't even know how I came up with that, and I'm so proud of myself. I've never had a better answer for a Jackbox question.
Y'all, I want to sell a Milky Waves shirt, so if there's any artists out there who are willing to draw a surfing cow with the words Milky Waves underneath, DM me and let's collab and let's sell a Milky Waves shirt on the store.
Oh my god, guys, why?
Thank you for the Empire friends. All right, should we get into the news? We're only 7 minutes into the show. Okay, I thought we were
fine.
Late.
Well, we do have an announcement. Should we do that now or at the end?
Oh, we have a new show. And we should do that now.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain our new show?
Sure. So David and I were chatting. And we're going to have a new podcast show. In addition to, the nightly morning show gets uploaded as a podcast. Excuse me. I had to drink so much. Sorry. Sorry, guys. So, we're having a new bi-weekly show.
Yes.
Called Catching Up Claris.
Catching Up Clarus.
No, it's Catching Up Claris.
Yes, but it will only ever be pronounced as Catching Up Clarus.
No, it won't be.
Yes, it will.
And so it's basically a show for me to catch up on all of the pop culture things that I have missed out on throughout my life.
Yeah, it's going to essentially be a rewatch podcast for me, and a original podcast for Clarus. Mello
did know that.
Already knows that because we have already announced this to our patrons.
Yes.
So it's going to be a bi-weekly podcast, in this case meaning every 2 weeks, not twice a week, which is what bi-weekly can also mean because English is a dumb language.
Yep, true.
And we are going to be doing, basically, it will either be a full series, or it will be a season of a series, or it will be a movie.
Yeah.
The first episode, which will be coming out this Sunday, is going to be Avatar: The Last Airbender, the full series. We're going to talk about all 3 seasons of the show, what we thought about it. This one won't be a Catching Up Clarus, it'll be a Catching Up both of us.
Yeah, because David actually did not watch.
Because I had never seen it before either.
But there's going to be, we can probably do one on Anchorman. Just saying. I've never seen it. I've never seen Venom.
You've never seen Venom?
Yeah. There's so many things.
You've also never seen, we're definitely going to do all of Star Wars Clone Wars.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to do all of Rebels. We're definitely going to do... What are the other big ones that you've never seen? She's never seen Batman 1989, the original Tim Burton Batman.
True.
So there's going to be some really exciting, fun episodes there. That show will be available publicly for everyone.
Patrons get early access.
No. We might not be able to do that with a podcast.
Oh.
Well, we'll have to figure out how we're going to release it.
Yes, that's fair.
We're going to try and find a way for patrons to get early access. That'll probably be through a YouTube link, but that show will be available publicly on Sunday night.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks after that on Sunday night, and then 2 weeks after that on Sunday night.
Yeah.
And then that'll take us to the end of the year. Guys, we're so close to the end of 2020.
I know. I cannot believe it. I think we will probably do Legend of Korra as well, Dill Pickle. We do want to watch it.
We will. We just haven't seen it yet.
We'll see. Yeah. We just have to get around to watching it.
All right. That's a big announcement. We hope that you guys will come check out Catching Up Clarus when it goes live on Sunday to talk about Avatar. But for now, should we talk about the news?
Absolutely. Thank you, Shin.
For our title story today, we are talking about The Last of Us.
Yeah, we got a really fun announcement.
Yeah, not our announcement this time.
No, this is not.
This is HBO's announcement because HBO, home box office. What does the O stand for? Home box office. That's what the O stands for. Has announced that they're going to be doing a Last of Us television series. We had heard of this. There had been rumors. There had been speculation about this for a while. But the show officially has been greenlit to go to production.
Yeah.
And we're going to be getting a streaming... actually, not streaming, because it'll be on HBO. Whatever HBO is now. It's not technically an HBO Max title. Actually, I have a question. Is there a difference between an HBO title and an HBO Max title now, or is it all just the same thing?
I have no idea.
I don't think anyone knows.
Yeah.
I just broke my own brain trying to figure out... Because, like,
we don't know, guys.
HBO's whole thing was that it wasn't television. But now it has HBO Max, which also isn't television.
I couldn't tell you.
So is one of them the not streaming, not television, and the other is the streaming, not television?
I really don't know. Like, we don't have HBO Max here, so I've just never put in the thought.
Fair.
I'm so sorry. I'm not helpful in this situation.
Because of that, the Broken Pirates in the chat are also not television. So that's good to know. Twitch, technically not television.
It's twitch.tv.
Twitch.tv. Oh my gosh, you're right. Am I still high?
Oh, God.
What do you want to see a Last of Us TV show?
Here's the thing that I think makes that tough. We already know the story of The Last of Us.
Well, yeah, but that's true of every adaptation. That's true of every adaptation.
Yeah.
Like Game of Thrones, we knew the story. You know what I mean?
Well, not really, because it's not finished. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to, like, take any liberties with it. And, because, you know, like, what can I use? When, like, The Hobbit came out.
Yes.
They took liberties, made it into, like, 3 movies,
I don't know what you're
threw in a bunch
talking
of
about.
extra crap, and, like, called it a movie. So, you know, I wonder, thank you for the biddies, Dill Pickle. I wonder if it's going to be the exact story that we already know from the video game, or if it's going to be either a spin-off or a continuation. Although the end of Last of Us 2 didn't leave much for continuation, I don't think.
Here's the thing. This is really tough, right? I love the Last of Us 2 games so much.
Yeah.
I love them so much.
They're brilliant. The story is incredible.
And the further away I'm getting from having played Last of Us 2, and the more I'm realizing how much that story stuck with me, and how much it still I still think about it, I actually, like, really, really love what they did with Last of Us 2. And, like, the fact that it is as emotionally resonant with me months later says a lot about the video game.
For sure.
And the fact that I really want to go play it again, and the only reason I'm not playing it again right now is because I can't. Like, I don't have a device. I need to buy a PS5 so that I can.
Yeah.
Or a used PS4. Because I probably won't get a PS5 until 2026. Having said that, I kind of want them to not make this show about Joel and Ellie. Because I don't think that there's anything left to be said about that relationship that the game didn't accomplish. Yeah. Especially, like, their relationship in the first game is so beautiful. And if they just remake the story of the first game into a season of television, I'm here for it, and I will watch it because, you know, it's such a beautiful story, and it's something that I love, and I love that. But I kind of would love for them to take the world of Last of Us and make a different story that, like, intersects with Joel and Ellie in some way or something like that.
Yeah, like, maybe somebody that they, like, know and are close with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that those characters can make appearances short term. Mm-hmm. But I don't really want to see their story put into a show because I feel like I know their story. I'm
sure that's what it's going to be, though. I'm 100% sure. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe it's great, and maybe they, like, take it in a different direction. Mm-hmm. You know, there are cases where, like, just telling the same story but doing it differently can be interesting. And, you know, there's going to be elements of that story that I'm not sure that HBO is going to want to do live action.
Oof.
The end of the let's just be real. Watching the end of the first game in live action would be really hard.
Yeah. I mean, it was hard enough in the video game. Like, in the game. You know what I mean? Like, I think that...
it's heavy. It's really heavy.
It's definitely going to be an adult show. Like, like, you know, this is going to be, like...
It is going to be the most violent thing ever made.
Yeah.
The end of that... The end of that shit game, and no, without spoiling anything, but the end of that game is...
It's a lot.
It's gruesome. Mm-hmm. And for very intentionally,
yes.
It is not supposed to make you feel good. It is supposed to make you feel bad about what's happening, and it is very good at it.
Yeah.
But it is gruesome.
Yeah.
It is like, it crosses a line of humanity in a way that is telling a story about the lines that we are willing to cross for each other, and I totally get it. Like, playing it, I totally got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shin is saying, is it more violent than Game of Thrones? I honestly, yes. If you do the end of Last of Us 1 in live action, I think that it will come across more violent than Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones had that, like, fantasy element, and there's only so much damage that you can do with a sword. Like,
right.
It's the Red Wedding is awful. It's so awful, but I don't know, there's something about putting it in a modern context that has no fantastical elements that makes it more real. You take that scene in the hospital and you make that real. You put that in real people in a modern hospital with modern scrubs. Like, you make that part of the real world with real guns. It is so different than damage that you do with a giant broadsword while you're wearing big armor and there's candles, and, like, you take something that is abstract, like a fantasy setting, and obviously it wasn't always abstract. There would have been a time in history when that would have looked very real to people,
for sure,
but the modern hospital setting and, like, the look and the people is going to be it's gruesome, and, like, it's beautiful in a way. The storytelling is gorgeous, and the reasons why it happens are wonderful, and I love that game, but watching it is going to be a heavy blow to... There are going to be a lot of people who will not watch the show because it will be too tough to get through.
Yeah, here's the thing. I honestly don't think it's a show that I could watch.
That's fair. Yeah, I get that.
Also,
you don't like zombies.
Well, yeah. The zombies thing also makes it very difficult for me. Like, I don't know what it is. I get really in my head about it. Mm-hmm. And I think that, like, I think you're right. I think they're going to make it about Joel and Ellie because that seems like the thing to do, but I really hope that they don't. Because I think that the game did such a good job. Like, you don't need to put it into another medium. I would rather get to explore more of the world and the other people in that world and in their lives. That's just me personally. I know that I'm sure there's a lot of people who are really excited to see this as a TV show because of the characters in it and the relationship to the characters. But just for me specifically, I would prefer if they moved away from that main storyline of the games. Yeah,
me as well. But it's coming. I'm gonna watch it. Clarus probably won't. And we'll see.
We'll see.
I don't know. Like, it's gonna be interesting. I think that it's something like I'm one of those people who nothing really bugs me. Like, I can watch anything. I can watch any Saw movie. I can watch, like, and, you know, I can watch any horror movie and go to bed that night.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not the violence of the show that would bother me. I that stuff doesn't stay with me for some reason. And if you stuck with us for a while, you've heard me talk that, like, I don't deal with zombies very well, and I don't know why. Like, when I started watching The Walking Dead, I started having zombie dreams like every week.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, there'd be a weird noise outside, and I'd be like, it's the zombie apocalypse, and I'd start like spiraling, and like I'm like, okay, where are the people that I love? What are the weapons around me? And it was like the weirdest thing. I would just hear a weird noise on the subway and be like, okay, I'm on the subway. How do I deal with this situation if it turns into the zombie apocalypse? Like, and I just like had to put away the zombie genre for a while.
Hero of Wind brings up, it should be the start of the Fireflies or something. Or I would actually really be interested if if the first few seasons of the show were Joel's time between losing his daughter, which is a slight spoiler for the very beginning of the first game.
Right.
But there's a huge time jump at the beginning of the first game after Joel loses his daughter to when he meets Ellie. And there's a big time jump that takes place in a cool city where it could be really interesting to introduce Joel and you could do 2 seasons of Joel's journey then. Introduce Ellie at the end of the second season. Do all of her backstory and Joel's backstory, and then do the 3rd season of them converging, and then seasons 4 and 5 could be the lead up to the hospital, and you could have a really interesting 5-season show that tells that whole story in a way that would make it feel different from the game because of how it's handling it.
Yeah.
And also, like, introducing Ellie in the middle of the show would be interesting, and like giving us a different kind of relationship. But obviously, like, who knows what's going to happen. I'm kind of excited for it. I don't know. It's weird that it's hard to be excited for adaptations of things that I love as much as I love The Last of Us.
Yeah.
It really is. It is tough to be as...
It could be very bad.
Yeah. And honestly, video game adaptations have just messed up so many times that like there's a hesitancy.
Yeah. Even like The Witcher wasn't perfect. The Witcher's also not just a video game.
Yeah.
But like
I enjoyed The Witcher a lot.
I enjoyed it. It's not perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
And
I think that The Witcher though, The Witcher has a different problem than The Last of Us, where The Witcher had to like set up so many things.
True.
Which is hard to do. Like it had to set up a world that's very weird and complicated.
Yeah.
And like even I've played the games and there's times when they introduce something else and I'm like, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
And so the Witcher, I think the season 1, the things about it that aren't perfect, or that the things that take away from it, are how much of it had to be exposition.
Yeah.
And now that that's kind of handled, I'm really excited because I feel like the second season of the show is going to open up and have a lot more room to run as far as storytelling and character development. And I'm really excited for that because I love Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
I love the actress playing Yennefer. I love the actress playing Ciri. And I'm really excited to see the 3 of them and the way their relationship develops.
So assuming your theory is correct, like what you would like to see in The Last of Us show, who would play a young Joel?
A young Joel?
Yeah. From the very beginning.
That's tough, right? Because you want someone who's like... it's tough because I want someone who like I don't know very well. Like I wouldn't want it to be a huge star.
Yeah.
You know who I think would be actually really good as Joel would be the guy who was the villain in Logan. I think his name is Boyd Holbrook.
I can't
maybe
picture him.
He's the guy with the robot arm in Logan. Mm-hmm. He's got a southern accent in it, but I think that he would be a really good Joel. He's just got kind of that sensibility. I could see him being a like tough dad.
Mm-hmm. The only person that kind of comes to mind that could kind of work, and I don't love it, but the guy who plays Bucky.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah. Oh my God, what is his name?
I'm bad with
young
names.
Young. He looks like a young Mark Hamill.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He and Mark Hamill have the same face.
Yeah, kind of.
That's interesting. I really like that. That's good casting.
I think that he can play that vibe.
Yeah.
You know, and that like grit.
Yeah. All right, let's go with that.
Yeah, sure.
Bucky Barnes, Sebastian Stan. Oh, thank God. Yeah, Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier. Right. He would be a good Joel. That's good. That's really good casting. Who would you want to be Ellie? Because everyone says Ellen Page because the original was. She looks like Ellen Page.
For sure.
The problem is she's too old now.
Too old now. Like this person would have to look like a teenager.
Because it's not going to be Last of Us 2. They're going to start when Joel, if it's Joel and Ellie, which it is going to be, it's going to be her as a 13 to 16-year-old.
Yeah.
It's going to be Millie Bobby Brown.
Let's be honest.
The only actress, it's either Millie Bobby Brown or Daphne Keane. The two actresses under 20 who are working right now.
Yeah. Unless, you know what? Hey, Anya Taylor-Joy looks like she could be a teenager still.
She's too tall.
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy is like, she's I don't know. She's not right. She's too like foreign looking.
Yes.
You need someone who, and I don't mean that like in a bad way. I just mean she looks European. She looks very European.
She does.
She doesn't have that like soft all-American kind of.
Yeah.
Which I think kind of is what Ellie is. You know, she looks like a girl from Chicago.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I don't really have any like solid ideas.
I don't know. I actually wouldn't hate Millie Bobby Brown.
No, I think
she'd be great.
Could do it.
I just want to see her in everything. She was so charming in Enola Holmes.
Yeah, the movie, questionable, but she was great.
Speaking of Millie Bobby Brown, our next news story is a fun one because, oh my gosh, I need to pull up his name because if I don't get his name right, I'm going to be very embarrassed.
Upset.
But the original actor who played Freddy in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. Robert Englund is joining the cast of Stranger Things Season 4. So we're getting the original Freddy Krueger actor, which is a really cool thing. I love that Stranger Things is doing this, where they reference so much of the 80s in their show, and so they're bringing in these 80s stars, especially horror stars, into the show, these homages. I love Robert Englund. Freddy Krueger is one of the most like iconic horror things that has ever been created. You know, everything about him is iconic. The sweater's iconic, the hat is iconic, the skin, the glove, like he's such an incredible character that each individual piece on its own represents that character.
Yeah. For sure.
And so I'm just really excited for Robert Englund to join the show.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I obviously have never seen I've seen season 1 of Stranger Things. Haven't seen any other seasons, and I obviously have not seen Nightmare on Elm Street.
You've never seen a single Nightmare on Elm Street? Oh my gosh.
No, I have not.
They're fun. Because they take... The whole thing with Freddy is that he kills you in your dreams. So because it's in your dreams, they're fun movies because they can be so ridiculous. Because it's whatever humans can dream. Yes.
Right. Okay.
And so, like, you know, it's... A lot of those movies play with, like, ridiculousness. And Freddy Krueger is an over-the-top villain.
Okay.
But it's really, really quite fun. And I like him as a villain quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this.
Me too.
You know, I want to see Stranger Things keep doing stuff like this because I think it's really fun. We haven't seen Robert Englund in something in a while, or at least I haven't in a while. So I'm hoping to see him maybe take on a villain. I think it'd be fun to have human villains that have a bit more personality and flair like he does in the Nightmare movies. But they're probably going to make him a good guy and then kill him off in a way that everyone feels is unfair because that's the story of Stranger Things.
That's how it works.
Justice for Bob. Okay, you guys? Justice for Bob. All right. We have a lot of television news, actually, because we had the Last of Us news. We had that Stranger Things news. We also, there are rumors going around that Marvel is going to be focusing its energy less on the movies and more on their Disney Plus television series.
Yeah.
This is probably because of the current coronavirus. Their movies are kind of in limbo until movie theaters are open and doing well again.
Yeah, which is fair.
So they're going to be focusing on a couple of television series, including a Nick Fury show, which is probably going to be up and running next year, filming, as well as Ironheart. Do you know who Ironheart is?
Is probably like Iron Man's daughter or something.
No, but you're kind of close.
Okay.
So, like Iron Man's daughter, but not Tony Stark's daughter. Ironheart is I believe in the comics when she was introduced, she was 16. And she's a 16-year-old girl of color who is one of the smartest people on the planet and creates her own Iron Man armor and actually takes over as the Iron Man of the Avengers.
Gotcha.
Even though she is a high school age student.
Wow.
She's brilliant. Riri is her name, and I want this show. This show, that sounds dope.
Yeah, I would watch that.
I want a freaking, like, high school drama about a black girl who fights supervillains.
I love it.
While also, like, kicking ass in her personal life. It sounds dope.
Or maybe being that smart, you would have a lot of struggles in your personal life.
No, that's why I want that show. You know what I mean? Like,
that sounds dope.
Like, I think that it would be really cool to do... Wait, Mel the Bard just asked, I can't see them using Jackson as Fury because he's so iconic. Do you think they'll cast a... No, it is Sam Jackson. I'm so confused by your comment, Mello. Sam Jackson will still be Nick Fury in that TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be the Sam Jackson TV show.
Yeah. What we've all been waiting for.
Sorry, I was very confused for a second. I'm very excited to see this show, Ironheart. I'm actually very excited for Sam Jackson as Nick Fury.
Oh yeah. That's gonna be good though. Like I that's one that I think will in a way carry itself because of the character, the history, the actor. Like I know that one's gonna be solid. This one I really hope they put a lot of care into.
Mello the Bard says he doesn't strike me as a TV actor. I hear what you're saying, Mello. These aren't TV shows though. These Disney Plus TV shows are not TV shows. These are giant 8-episode movies. And here's the thing, and this is the point I make about the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole. Mm-hmm. Marvel Cinematic Universe is a giant TV show. It has 23 episodes, and the season finale is Thanos. And Endgame is the season finale of the first season of the MCU.
Right.
Season 2 of the MCU is going to be... Some of the episodes are on Disney Plus, and they're called TV shows, and some of the episodes are movies. But this is one giant television series.
Yeah.
It behaves like a television series. It has arcs like a television series. And so I genuinely think that, like, the actors don't notice a difference between the two things.
Yeah, especially because it's Disney.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they're going to work on a cable network TV show. Elizabeth
Olsen and Paul Bettany are not doing WandaVision being like, I guess my career's over, I'm on a TV show now. No, they're on a $5 million an episode sitcom that is going to be the highest profile thing of January next year. The most talked about thing in January of next year is going to be WandaVision. Mm-hmm. It just is. The division between television and film nowadays is so blurred.
Yeah,
I think that Mel's right. I do not think that Sam Jackson would do a 22 episode syndicated TV show, that runs September to May.
Yeah,
I don't think he will. But 8 episodes, maybe it's like, if you're doing 8 weeks, you would do 8 weeks of filming on a movie. It's not that different from a film. You know? So I'm really excited that, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think that, if they do, like, throwback scenes, they might have a really great chance to showcase an up-and-coming actor of color as, like, young Nick Fury, which I think would be really cool. What?
No,
they won't. Like, flashbacks?
They won't. They will de-age Sam Jackson.
You think so?
They did it for Captain Marvel. It would be too weird now to have 2 different young Nick Furies.
What do you mean 2 different?
Well, because in Captain Marvel, they de-aged him.
Oh, I didn't see Captain Marvel.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, catching up, Clarus. Coming this Sunday.
Sorry, I'm not gonna lie. It didn't look that great, so I didn't go see it.
There's some parts of it that are brilliant. Particularly the Skrulls. But it would be very odd for them to have a de-aged Nick Fury who looks young in the movie, and then also have a different young Nick Fury in the TV show.
I hope they do.
They have all of the technology to de-age him now. They have, like, it's all done already.
Did it not look really weird?
No, it looked unbelievably good. He looks like he's in the 90s. If you have not seen Captain Marvel yet, watch it just to look at Nick Fury and go, how? How did you do this? It is insane.
Okay.
No, I'm not even joking. It looks like you're watching Pulp Fiction again.
Weird.
It's Dill Pickle, it's so crazy. And it's the whole movie. He's in the entire film. And he looks...
a young version.
Exactly like he did in the 90s.
Alright.
It probably helps that he was in so many movies in the 90s that they had stuff to pull from.
Yeah.
But yeah. If they're going to do flashbacks, it will be Sam Jackson de-aged. There's no reason for it not to be.
Yeah.
And
that is fair.
The fun thing, I will say, the fun thing about doing a Nick Fury show is he is on the sidelines for so many events where they've cut away from him. It would be interesting to explore some of those events in the show.
Sure. Yeah.
It's going to be cool. I'm very excited.
Yeah, you almost get like a behind the scenes to the Marvel movies in a way. Like,
yeah.
I like that. That's fun.
Yeah, which is kind of what I think the Loki show might do a little bit because he's time traveling. Gotcha. So I'm hoping that we're going to get a little bit of that. Yeah. So yeah, Ironheart and Nick Fury coming to Disney Plus soon.
Cool. That's really fun.
I know, but it goes back to what we were talking about earlier this week about the DC shows, because there's so many Marvel shows now. And there's so many, like, there's just so much superhero television now. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna be able to watch it all, babe.
I know.
We're gonna try. We are gonna try.
We're gonna try.
We are gonna try. Just for you, chat. Just for y'all in the chat.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Good thing we're gonna be home for the holidays, and I can catch up.
In other TV show news, speaking of the DCEU, keep your eyes peeled to the internet later today, because if you are a fan of Titans, they have announced that they are going to be revealing the new Starfire costume today that will appear in Season 3 of Titans. And it is apparently going to be a more comic-accurate take. Because it's part of the complaint about Starfire so far, other than the racists who are upset that they cast a black woman. And if you're upset that they cast a black woman to play an orange woman, I don't know how to help you. She's an alien. But part of the complaint has been that her wardrobe has been very bizarre at times on the show. Right. Sometimes she's dressed like she's from the 70s. It's interesting. And I haven't necessarily loved all of her costumes, although I quite like Anna Diop. She's a great actress, and she's actually one of the highlights of the show for me. She's very emotionally consistent throughout the show in a way that I really appreciate.
Yeah.
And so we are going to be getting a new comic-accurate take on her costume, which our chat is bringing up might be way too sexy. I'm assuming it's going to be comic-accurate without going full bathing suit, but...
Oh, it's a bathing suit.
Well...
I'm gonna pull up a picture right now.
If you've never seen the panel from like old comics that's Starfire screaming that she loves Dick, it's definitely worth checking out.
I love that. I need to look into that. Wait, like this?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
For those of you who don't understand that joke, Starfire and Richard Grayson, in the comics everyone calls him Dick Grayson, are longtime lovers. And there is a scene from an old comic where I think she thinks that Dick dies. And she's full on tears, like screaming, and it's just a panel, and it just says, "No, Dick, no." It says, "I love Dick, I can't lose Dick," like multiple times. Like, it's very funny. And like at the time, it was very innocent. But now it's...
Did not age well.
It did not age well, no. Some things in comics don't age well. And honestly, I agree with Jason Inman from Geek History Lesson. Stop, just call him Richard. Stop, it's 2020. Stop calling him Dick Grayson, DC. Just... Yeah,
I don't...
And also, don't ever do Rick Grayson again. That was bullshit.
Wow, all right.
It was. Rick Grayson was crap. DC Comics. I love you, and I love Nightwing, but Rick Grayson was garbage. I will say that until the day I die. Dill Pickle agrees with me. Rick was trash.
All right.
Dick Grayson is a gosh darn hero. He is the cornerstone of the DC universe. You do not have modern DC Comics without Dick Grayson. I will die on this hill, and Rick Grayson was absolute garbage.
Is this the same person?
No.
Okay.
No, he's not. They replaced Nightwing with... They replaced Dick Grayson with Rick Grayson. It's all trash.
Okay, all right. Glad that I know that now.
Stick with Dick. No, but change his name to Richard.
Yeah, Richard is fine.
Yeah. Or Richie, I don't know. Hard. Call him Hard.
Don't do that.
Hard Grayson.
Don't do that. I'm gonna veto that right now.
You don't like Hard Grayson?
No. No, I do not.
Oh boy. So we had announced. Speaking of guys, we're just going through television news today.
We're powering through the news.
DC announced that we were going to be getting a spin-off of Black Lightning called Painkiller. We had talked about that, and at the time I was wondering why would you do that while Black Lightning is still going? Painkiller is such a huge part of that show.
Yeah,
it would be weird to me to not have him on that show.
Yeah,
and what we found out is that Black Lightning is coming to an end at the end of season 4.
Yeah, they got snip snap.
You've never seen an episode of Black Lightning, right?
No, I haven't.
I will say this is sad to me because I think that Black Lightning is one of the smarter CW shows.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that it has tackled racism in America through its show has been the CW shows are very fun and I really enjoy them, but they don't typically have a lot to say about the real world. They keep it light. A statement. Yeah, they keep it light for the most part. Supergirl a little bit more than the others, but Black Lightning came out with the idea that it was about being black in America, and they were going to really dive into that. And what does it mean for Black Lightning to be a black principal in a high school? And they talk about those things in a way that is feels honest.
Yeah.
And I can't speak for that experience, obviously. But for someone like me who can't speak for that experience and doesn't know that experience, it felt like a way for me to be able to empathize with an experience I've never had before.
For sure.
And I think that those kind of storytelling things are very important. And I have always appreciated what Black Lightning did in that respect. I really like the show. And I'm sad to see it ending. I was hoping this one would get to go 7-8 seasons like some of the others have.
Yeah.
This will end with season 4, and then obviously Painkiller, the spinoff, will pick up with these character storylines moving forward. Which is probably a good way to handle it. I mean, Black Lightning can still show up in the crossovers. He'll be able to show up in the Painkiller show. And maybe they just feel like they've told all the story they want with Jeffrey Pierce.
Well, I was going to say, a lot of the times with TV shows is they just go on too long because they're making money, and so they keep going. I think that saying this is what we've got, this is the story that we want to tell, and then once we're done telling that story, then we can move on. I think that's smart. I think a lot more people should do that.
Yeah.
And maybe that was the case. Maybe they were just like, look, we did what we wanted with this character. We told a good story. Yeah. Let's still visit the same world with a different lens in the form of this new show.
You are right. You are right with that. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it does suck. When your favorite movie or your favorite TV show ends, it's sad. But I would much rather see it end gracefully than Game of Thrones. But that's just me personally,
Yeah, I hear that. I will be sad to see Black Lightning go. I think Jeffrey Pierce is one of my favorite television characters right now. I really love him. I love the family dynamic on that show. I love that marriage, Jeffrey Pierce and his wife, the way that it is handled. They are two independent humans coexisting and trying to make it work in a very difficult situation.
Yeah.
And I really like the way they've handled that over the season so far. And it's one of those announcements where I get it. I hope that I hope that the CW isn't ending the show. I hope that they all decided together to end the show.
Yeah.
And that they are coming up with a solid story end that builds the characters well and really rounds out the overall narrative of Black Lightning.
Totally.
So that I want this show to live on. I want this show to be one thing that 10 years from now, if people are still talking about these CW shows, I think Black Lightning's the one that I hope has that legacy. Yeah. Black Lightning and Arrow, I think, are the two that will have that legacy. Just because the quality of the experiential storytelling that they're giving in Black Lightning is very high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that should be bumped up to the top of the list. I'd like to watch Black Lightning.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
It just there's a lot of social commentary in it that is really it's really, really good. And I just. It also helps that for the first few seasons it was disconnected from everything else. Yeah. Was starting with Crisis on Infinite Earths. Jeffrey met the rest of the Justice League. Yeah. But before that, there's no crossovers. So it was kind of its own world for a long time. Freeland existed on its own. And I just really like that show.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
In news that is not television news, but also kind of television news, because you probably watch WWE on television if you watch it. I am not a big wrestling fan anymore, but there was a time in my youth where I grew up around wrestling, and I really loved the WWE for a while.
All right.
When I was younger. One of my best friends and was someone I played hockey with when I was like really young. His dad was a WWE wrestler who unfortunately passed away in the ring, Ironheart. But my favorite wrestler when I was in middle school was The Undertaker, like a lot of people.
Wait, isn't that from The Incredibles?
No, that's The Underminer.
Oh, okay.
The Undertaker is a very large, very scary looking man who retired last night.
Last night?
Yeah, who announced his retirement. And so The Undertaker is, his real name is Mark William Calloway. He has been a professional wrestler in the WWE for 30 years.
Wow.
Since before I was born.
That is impressive.
And he was my favorite wrestler for a long time. He's a showman. He came up with this dark, mysterious, scary character that he plays in the ring. And
Hashtag moody.
You know, he delivered 30 years of entertainment to everyone. He put his body through hell, like all those WWE wrestlers do, to entertain people. And I think that, people laugh at WWE, people laugh at professional wrestling as being silly and soap opera-y and yada, yada, yada. But it really is entertainment. It is.
It's a performance.
For a lot of people.
Flow, if you've never... Yeah. I think they probably do a pretty good job of representing that side.
It is theater.
Yeah.
It's just a very physical theater, and it is comedy, and there's a lot about it that I loved, especially when I was like 12, 13.
Yeah.
And you know how I like big, oily, muscly men. But
I do
now. Oh please, how much have we talked about The Rock and Chris Hemsworth's muscles on this show?
You know what? Good point.
So I just want to say to The Undertaker, hashtag thank you Taker. It's been a ride, and just thank you for the entertainment. And it's sad to see you retire, but it's an incredible, legendary career, and you've made your mark on the world, dude. You did a lot of really amazing shit in 30 years, and
30 years is a long time.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, I feel like his legacy is so large that you can you don't even have to be a WWE fan to understand the impact of that.
Yeah.
Like, to ride at the top of something like that for 30 years in any field is huge.
For sure.
And for him to have done that in such a physical way, and to have stayed at the top of his game physically for so long.
Yeah.
And the outpouring of love and support from the rest of WWE has been really wonderful. Obviously, like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has wrestled him. All the big guys. Ric Flair posted a really funny tweet. Just wanted to bring that up because, it is news. It is the end of an era. And while The Undertaker has died several times, he has left wrestling multiple times.
This
is the real one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, because he always dies, and then he comes out of a coffin and beats the crap out of someone.
I love it.
Yeah.
I hope that's how I'm reincarnated. I just crawl
as a
out of my coffin.
WWE wrestler.
No, I just crawl out of my coffin and
I was like, you want to be reincarnated as a 6'6" WWE wrestler?
No. I just want to come out of my coffin and kick ass.
All right. All right. We have one last story of the day. You all know the Dark Knight trilogy.
What?
Christopher Nolan was in the news because he said that he feels lucky that he got to make the Batman movies before comic book movies became an engine of commerce.
Okay.
His exact quote was, "The other advantage we had back then was you could take more time between sequels. When we did Batman Begins, we didn't. It would take. There were 3 years between the first 2, 4 years before the next one. Mm-hmm. They had the luxury of time. It didn't feel like a machine, an engine of commerce for the studio. As the genre becomes so successful, those pressure becomes greater and greater. It was the right time." I feel weird about this comment because The Dark Knight Rises made $1 billion. Dark Knight made $1 billion.
Yeah.
And Batman Begins made $400 million. What do you mean they weren't engines of commerce? Dude, you made $1 billion movies.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
What?
I just think it's such a weird thing to be like, I made my superhero movies before superhero movies were before they were money things, and I'm like,
the ultimate hipster.
What are you talking about, dude? You made them at the same time Iron Man was coming out.
Yeah.
And after the Spider-Man movies, like, it's just such a weird. Batman Begins made $400 million worldwide. Like,
yeah.
To say that The Dark Knight Rises was not an engine of commerce.
It's
a $1 billion movie.
Understand that comment.
I
maybe
think that what he's... Sorry.
No, I think we're going to try and maybe interpret what he says here at the same time.
Yeah.
That maybe it's before, like... I don't know.
So I think that what he's trying to say is that that now there's more pressure on directors to make money movies. And I think that what Christopher Nolan doesn't realize is that other directors were feeling those pressures ever since, like, Spider-Man movies did really well, right?
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan was given leeway on the Batman movies because he's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Not because... Warner Brothers was banking on the idea that if they let Christopher Nolan make the movie he wanted, they would make a lot of money.
Yeah.
They didn't feel the need to infringe in the same way. And I don't understand what he means by engines of commerce.
I think he's living in a bubble.
The movies, if a company gives you over $100 million to make a movie, they anticipate they're going to make a crap ton of money off of it.
Yeah. That's how this works.
Warner Brothers...
Movies are to make money.
Christopher Nolan, Warner Brothers did not give you hundreds of millions of dollars to make Batman movies. Not even to make the first Batman movies. To make the, 9th, 10th, and 11th Batman movies.
Yeah.
Thinking that they weren't going to make money. That's not how life works.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't... I don't know... I don't even know what to say about that. Movies are to make money. No, nobody's making movies... Unless you're, a film student. Yeah. Nobody's making films to not make money. I don't...
Yeah, Perennial Games says in the chat, think how many Bane masks they sold. Yeah, Christopher Nolan, they made a crap ton of merch off of your not engine of commerce movies.
Yeah.
This is...
Yeah, I don't see how Captain Marvel is any different than The Dark Knight.
It goes back to his comments, though, the other day about how he's confused why people care so much about the sound in his movies. And I'm just like...
That's what I mean. He's living in a bubble.
What world are you living in, dude? You're like...
He did as much weed as we did last night.
I would love for Christopher Nolan to make a movie high. If the movies we get are him sober, what would a high Christopher Nolan movie be like?
I don't want to know.
It would either be way better or way worse.
Yeah. It would either tip heavily in one direction.
Yeah, it's honestly, and people are trying to explain it. I think we're all trying to understand what he means.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand what he means because it's such an odd comment for him to make.
Yeah.
After he made billion-dollar movies.
Yeah.
He could have stopped after The Dark Knight and he made a third one, even though Heath Ledger passed away. And I think that was because he had a contract. Mm-hmm. A financial contract with the studio because he was making, and he was part of an engine of commerce.
Yeah. The studio gives you a crap ton of money to make them back another crap ton of money.
It says, I think this might be a comment on, we didn't have to push out 3 movies a year, and I don't think he expects his movies to go into, 7-digit numbers. He has to expect his movies to go into 7-digit numbers, Atheist, though, because
if it didn't...
They cost 7-digit... They cost 10-digit numbers.
If they didn't, it would be a problem. They have to make that much money. Otherwise, these movies don't happen.
It's literally... that, and that's kind of what it becomes, is, the movie industry is an engine of commerce. And I get that we make a lot of superhero movies nowadays.
Yeah, for sure.
We do. But, the idea... There's 3 years between most Marvel sequels, though.
The main storyline?
Well, yeah, but if you really think about it, Ant-Man and Ant-Man 2 didn't come out a year apart.
True, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yes, there are 3 Marvel movies a year, but that are from 3 different teams of people that are all working together. The only person who's working on 3 Marvel movies a year is Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
But it's not like Kevin Feige is Russo brothers make a movie every year.
Yeah,
You know. And obviously Infinity War and Endgame are an exception, but they filmed,
they were filming at the same time. Yeah.
That was
part 1 and part 2.
But I don't know. I think it's weird to me when people talk about superhero movies as if they are different from the rest of movie making.
Yeah.
And, like, this is another instance where, like movies are commerce. It is, you have a job to make a product
that's gonna make
so that it makes money.
Crap ton of money.
And, like, the idea that Christopher Nolan thinks that his Batman movies were not made to make money is such a baffling...
It's very odd.
Because, like, I think that Christopher Nolan thinks that other directors are given the leeway that he is, and they aren't. You are Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
That's why you get that leeway.
Yeah.
It is not. Because Batman wasn't in vogue in the mid-2000s. Like, that is insane.
He would be one of those people, like, after these kinds of comments, he'd be one of those people that I'd be super interested in, like, having a drink with him. And,
100%.
I wonder how he talks. I wonder how he, like, views himself.
Yeah.
And, like, the work that he does. Like, I'm very curious. Although maybe it's better not to know.
his comment, and, like, I feel like we're just ragging on Christopher Nolan right now, which isn't my intention.
It's just, we're confused.
But I'm confused. I'm really confused by someone who is so good at making movie studios money, thinking that they're not hiring him to make movie studios money.
Yeah.
Which is what it sounds like. It sounds like he doesn't understand that he makes studios a lot of money, and that's why they let him do this. Shin in the chat says, I don't think he's made one bad movie yet, in my opinion. A clean record. But see, Shin, that's the thing. The reason that... I think that the reason that he is under the appearance that he isn't making an engine of commerce is because the studios don't put pressure on him the way they do other people.
Yeah, because they know it's going to be good.
Yeah. No one is going to... No studio head is going to look at Dunkirk dailies and try and tell Christopher Nolan that, hey, this isn't going to work. Because there's, honestly, if you broke Dunkirk down into individual shots, it is a terrible movie. It's only because the way it's assembled and the overall structure and filmmaking prowess that he showed in making Dunkirk, that once you get to the entire experience of it, it's this incredible... Like, if you've never seen Dunkirk and you get to see it in IMAX... absolutely go see it in IMAX because it is a brilliant film. But, like, I think that because he makes brilliant films and he is a brilliant filmmaker, he is treated differently.
Yeah.
And so he says things like this because he doesn't realize that, like, he is an engine of commerce unto himself.
Yeah.
And so the studios let him do whatever he wants because he's going to make a brilliant movie. If any other filmmaker in 2008 had tried to make Batman, the studio would have been involved. Look at what happened with Superman. Look at the Kevin Smith written Superman movie in the mid-2000s. Or Justice League Mortal. Like, those things came before the Christopher Nolan movies, and they had problems because they were engines of commerce.
Yeah.
And the engines of commerce destroyed those movies, and they never happened. They never came out because of it.
Yeah.
And then they hired Christopher Nolan and went, all right, we cannot tell Christopher Nolan what to do, so he's going to do what he wants.
Yeah.
And The Dark Knight is one of my favorite movies ever made, you know? But it is, and Dark Dispatch brings up, like, he doesn't realize his privilege. He has immense, like, I want to call it genius privilege.
Yeah.
That because he is a genius in his field,
yeah,
he doesn't realize that the way people treat him is
different.
Serious.
For sure. Serious, I'm, like, literally, like, out of tea.
That was my last sip, so I have no more beverages. Sorry, Zeus. But I will chug a glass of water after this just for you.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no, new dress.
That's it. That's all I got, Zeus. I'm sorry.
That's all we got today.
Yeah, that's the news.
Did we rag on Christopher Nolan too hard at the end of the show?
You know what? No.
I also said that he's a genius and every movie he's made is incredible.
Exactly. So,
I don't personally
balance.
like The Dark Knight Rises.
All about balance.
But it's well made.
Dark Knight Rises is questionable.
I just hate that they steal his fingerprints, go to the stock exchange with him, and manage to take all of his money that way. It makes no sense. First of all, no one has any money at the stock exchange because it's not a bank. Second of all, having someone's fingerprints does not give you access to their financials.
No.
And so, third of all, you can't actually, like, deplete a person with that much money's funds like that. There are safeguards.
Yeah.
Where, like, Bruce Wayne would literally have to call the bank and like.
The bank would not allow you to do that.
Yeah, because it would harm their portfolio.
They wouldn't have that much money anyways.
Like, Bill Gates literally cannot move all of his money at once legally because he is so rich that it would actually harm the bank as an institution to do it.
For sure.
So, The Dark Knight Rises, that scene in The Dark Knight Rises and the way they make him poor is lazy. I hate it. And despite the fact that the movie is gorgeous and well filmed, that storyline unravels the whole thing for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also, the fact that Bane is played by Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's great, but he is not Hispanic. And that was a whitewashing decision that I just don't love.
Don't agree with. Yeah, Tom Hardy's great, but that...
Bane should be played by a person of Latino heritage, in my opinion. Latinx heritage.
Shin wants to know what your favorite Christopher Nolan film is that's not Batman related.
It's tough. That's probably The Prestige. I think The Prestige is a perfect movie. I think that Hugh Jackman is so good in that movie. It's my favorite, and I love Hugh Jackman almost more than anyone. But it's my favorite Hugh Jackman performance. And it's also one of my favorite Christian Bale performances. Mm-hmm. The Prestige is it's a perfect movie. It's one of the greatest. It just is so good. There's not a shot in that movie that isn't beautiful. There's not a sound moment that isn't beautiful. It really is just one of those movies that I could watch Prestige every day. It's brilliant.
Shin, I don't know.
What Christopher Nolan movies have you seen other than Batman? Have you even seen all 3 of his Batman movies? Yes,
I have.
Okay. If you're wondering why we're doing a show called Catching Up Clarus, this is why.
Well, I mean, we went and saw...
Tenet,
and that is not a favorite movie of mine.
But it's your favorite Christopher Nolan movie other than his Batman movies because it's the only one you've seen?
No. He did Inception.
Yes.
That's got to be it, because I don't know what other movies he's done.
Yeah. I would say Inception's good.
Sorry.
Inception's good. It's just, to me, it's not even top tier Christopher Nolan.
Fair enough.
Inception is like the second tier of Christopher Nolan to me.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty damn good.
The top tier Christopher Nolan to me is Prestige, Dunkirk, and The Dark Knight. Those are his 3 best films, in my opinion.
Okay.
Then that next tier, you get like Batman Begins, Inception, and Memento. And then, like, the tier below that is Tenet and Dark Knight Rises.
Gotcha.
I feel like I'm missing a Christopher Nolan movie. Oh, Interstellar's in that bottom tier, too.
Oh, yeah.
I really love the first 2/3 of Interstellar.
Then that last act...
The last act kind
fell
of
apart.
Yeah.
Fell apart.
As soon as it's about love, I'm like,
Love, Murph. Yeah.
Murph.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great use of Matt Damon.
Yeah. I liked the beginning of that movie. Did not like the end of Interstellar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I've really only seen like Batman, Interstellar, and Inception. So I have some catching up to do.
And here's the thing. I did rank those into 3 tiers of Christopher Nolan movies. The thing you have to understand is that like the lowest tier Christopher Nolan movie is not bad. It's the lowest tier for Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
That is a very high tier.
Yeah.
in the history of cinema, the
bar
worst
is high.
Christopher Nolan movies are very high up.
Yeah. Thank you, Shin. Yeah, we're going to be watching a lot of Netflix over the holidays.
Murph is named for Interstellar. Yeah.
Their dog.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
The beginning of that movie's perfect. It's just that 3rd act.
Really, and it's beautiful. Like, holy crap. Like, they really, knocked it out of the park, so to speak. Yeah. But yeah, that last act falls apart for me.
But yeah, Dark Knight, Dunkirk, and The Prestige are 3 perfect movies that I think are his best. They're so good. Dunkirk is unlike the reason I love Dunkirk so much is because it's unlike any film I've ever seen before as far as the way it tells stories and the way it uses time, and it's one of those things that it is just, I've never seen anything like it. I've never had an experience like it in a theater before, and I was on that giant 72-foot IMAX screen on 68th Street in New York, and it was like, wow. Like watching it there, and I was like, this is something completely else.
Yeah, that's right.
And just atypical in every way, but it worked.
Well,
and
I have to watch that.
Yeah. It's really impressive. Really, really impressive. I love Christopher Nolan. I just think that what he said was silly, and that's why we talked about it for so long.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry we ranted a little bit, but we are over time.
We are over time, so we're going to go live our lives. You have a stream today.
I do, yes. I'm finishing my Civilization 5 playthrough.
Civ 5?
Canada mod. I'm going to try to be on
Canada.
for 2 o'clock today. I'm sorry I didn't put out a stream schedule yet.
Canada.
We were, last night was a wash. Yeah. But I'll put out a schedule as soon as we're done here. I'm going to be streaming today. Then tomorrow we have
we have a really cool stream. We're going to be streaming together.
Yes.
I wish that chair was going to be here by then.
I know.
We are going to be streaming a new game because the developer of the game asked us to.
He's actually in the chat, Beeple Games.
Yeah, Beeple Games
he
was
said hi
here.
earlier. He's asked us if we'll play his game Inseparable.
So we're going to be playing an indie game that just came out. And the developer will be here for that stream, so we can talk to him about the game as we play it, and we're very excited for that. It's going to be very cool.
Yeah, so that'll be tomorrow.
Yeah, so that is going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You can follow us across the internet. You can follow us Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, Reddit, I don't know where else. YouTube. Check out our YouTube. Our YouTube videos are getting way more views now, which is really cool. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
We really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's wild.
And it's gonna be really fun. Mm-hmm. So we will see you all next time. Mm-hmm. And anything else?
No, I think that's everything.
All right, y'all. Do something nerdy tonight.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.